and turn it. But if you've already hit him several times, then you could do a swinging ridge hand. But I don't think you really need to worry about that, especially in women's self-defense, because that fleshy part of your hand is not as well developed. It's not as muscly as some people that are doing it all the time. The same thing with something like this, where you go to the throat. Just punch him with a regular fist. Because you'll learn all these techniques. Now, if you go to another dojo, another karate class, and they start teaching you like this, that would be one thing, because then they get into the technique. And they get into what it's like and how you should do it properly. But just learning it right off, I wouldn't do this, where people say, oh, I hit it. No. Just keep your thumbs down. Don't poke them out. Don't put them inside. And keep your fist flat. Don't have it down here. Don't have your fist back here. None of this. It's just straight up and down. You're going to punch with those two fingers, whether it's vertical or horizontal. Same thing. It's going to go out and come back. And where does it come back to? Ready position, yeah? And now,
never want to leave it out.
Never leave it out. When you're punching, your whole body rotates. So my front foot is even going to rotate. I'm going to rotate. Back foot is going to rotate. Shoulders, you're going to picture your whole rotation. And you just, I always did like the $6 Million Man. You probably didn't know what that is. But you rotate. And so it's actually going to turn your whole body. Whoa, whoa. Practice that rotation. Hands up. Okay. Rotate the front foot is going to actually move so
Do I have the right position?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, look where you're fighting. You're going from the toe to heel to knee. There you go. Heel to toe to the person. And so the front foot is going to rotate back. The back foot is going to go straight. When punch and come back. And you don't have to really accentuate it. We're doing that now. But you want it naturally so your body spins as it rotates. You know, you get that rotation, and your blocks always come back to here. Now, we did our kicks. Do that back front snap kick. That front hand is going to become, the back hand is going to become the front hand. Remember? Okay, put your hands up. Okay, which foot's in the back? Okay, good. The back hand is going to become the front hand.
You're going to step forward.
And then you step forward. Boom. You can bring it back if you want, but a lot of times you want to be aggressive and move forward. Just depends on the situation. That's good. Your front hand, your back hand became your front hand. Boom, and then you're down. And I'm always trying to do 3 things or more. But now that we're practicing this, your back hand becomes your front hand. Then you can punch. You could kick with the side thrust. You could cross over the back, kick. I want you to get used to doing a lot of it. So if you can, at home, rig some sort of bag and hang it, whether you fill it with blankets, whether it's a duffel bag. See if your dad will help you do that. I don't know. So now, keep your hands up when you practice. Say we're practicing the front snap from the front. Same thing. Your hands stay up. That's one where you kick in the groin. And that's one where you're kicking with the ball of your foot. That's what you're hitting with right there, is what you'd walk on. Not your toes. Your toes are pulled back. Wow! And so you'll see these people with all these big high kicks that come way up to the face. You don't have to do that. The most effective, right here, knees, down here on the because how is she going to block that? How am I going to block that if I'm here? How am I going to block that? You know, if that comes up to my knee or my shin, I can try and pull my knee up. But if she's going to kick me in the knee, it's extremely difficult to block. In tournaments, they don't allow certain types of contact. Get out. Get your stance. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Okay, you're putting your whole body towards me. I can kick you. There. That goes back. Perfect. And then bounce. Have that one swing around. Touch the floor. And then kick me. No, the same one.
Oh, the same one?
Yeah. Yeah, so watch. Yep. So you get to where, here, try it on. Get to where that back foot is going to come around and hit me in the hand and knock my hand down. Try it. Good. 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 So now you can swing around. You try to keep it in the back and let's go. You can swing around. And so you can come all the way around. Yep. There you go. There you go. Perfect. and then it just bounces off the floor. Remember we talked about a cat stance is where it comes to here. A cat stance is just momentary. You're not going to be there very long.
But are you really going to use that one for this one?
No. It just bounces off the floor from there. So watch. So it's not really a cat stance because it's just there. If you don't want to bounce it off the floor, you can just come and never touch the floor, but I like to touch the floor. Gives me more power if I bounce it. So try. And then try and bring on that other kick. It bounces
What
it.
if they're kind of far away and you kind of just fail?
That's okay. If you fail, that's okay. You kept your hands up and you've reacted. And so if I come around and you go back, I bounce. I wanted to get you far enough away that I couldn't hit you. So I come around, get far back. And you can keep following.
I'm nervous because they're like, oh man, she can fight.
She can do something, and then they get a little bit nervous. Keep your blocks up. You always want to keep your blocks up. My brother would fight with his blocks down. And people would assume they could hit him, and they couldn't because he was so good. But if he did fight a master, and he couldn't do that against the master. Like you said, if you're trying to block and your hands are down, it's much more time to bring them up to block. But if you can just move, bob and weave out of the way. So it's crescent kick from the back. Comes up, hooks, in. Comes up, hooks it in. Yep, and so give me your foot.
Oh my gosh, don't flip me over.
Grab my knee up here. Okay, right here. That's where your hip needs to be turned.
Okay.
When it comes up to kick like that, you'll get much more power. And so this, hopefully we can get this in that video. Your hip with the guy, it kind of looks different. See how my hip is turned up like that? So when you kick, you have more power.
You know, there's a little kid right there.
See, when you kick, you've got more power. So your hips, you practice pivoting your hips. So you've got that pivot. Because if I try and just kick, and I'm not pivoted, so your actual hip turns, hip pivots, you'll get more power. Both hands up. Both hands up. I thought your battery was dead.
Plugged it in.
Okay. So your hands up. Talked about the circles. Remember, you can do circles in lots of different ways. Somebody grabs you, you can do a circle.
Then you
Okay,
can just
yeah.
go like that.
Yeah. Somebody grabs you, their head, you can circle down and up. You want to go relaxed and then explode. So for example, you grab me here.
Okay. Wait, how would you?
Right here?
Oh, right there.
Okay. So I can step back and break it, here, do all this normal stuff. Or I can just, I'm relaxed, and I come down and go. You're like dead weight, and now explode up into their face with your fist. And explode. So, and you yell where you're doing, and you come up in.
What if they're very strong though? And they're just like, what the frick?
What are they doing? You're going to go for the eyes in the throat. Especially on a big guy. You're going to hit him as hard as you can right there. Okay? And the eyes, rake the glasses off. Go for the eyes. But if you're raking down, if you do it with a circle, and explode. Of course, we talked about this. Come here, hit. And if he's really strong, so now I have you. Like,
Okay.
and I've got you. Now what do you do?
For once you can take control. I can just step out. And I can just go boom.
Yep.
I can go boom. I can...
And you want to react.
Fast,
And that's what you're doing. That's what's good in your mind is that you're thinking, I could do this, I could do that. Play that what if game with your husband. What if you grabbed me here? What if I grabbed you here? What could you do? And you get that thinking back and forth. Somebody grabs both hands, like if I grabbed you like this, what could you do?
Step forward.
Yeah, you're going to get me off balance because I'm going to
You
go
can
around.
go to the side and you can almost throw them down.
Throw your hips back and forth. You've
Yeah,
thrown
you
me off.
can make them.
And now you've got your feet.
Okay.
So that is actually a technique that looks kind of different. You put your knee up there. If you actually throw your hip to one side, throw it to the other, and then you start kicking. Shake your right hip in, left hip in, right. Shake it all about, but you want to shake that back and forth and shake it off. So that's another one. They get the back. You say, are my hands tight? I have my feet. Have they got my feet? which would be really weird, someone down hugging your feet. The bear hug, if someone bear hugs you like this, you've got your hands, yeah.
And who did you almost jump down to?
Mm-hmm.
Right on the dead weight.
Yep, and she's got her back of her head, she can hit me in the nose, because with our height level, and what I'm doing, her head is very dangerous to my nose. So you want to be cute.
Do you have a little taller go?
Well, with your height, don't hit me in the nose, because I've had a broken nose 3 times. But your height is perfect. You could aim for my nose and do it.
Well, if it's like a really tall guy.
And open your hands and go for the groin.
And
Or
hurt is bad. If
Oh,
you're
no, but this is a really short guy.
go for the groin.
Well, it's not like down here. You really can't.
Yeah, bend down and go for it.
Like the door.
The doorknob. Grab, turn, yank, pull. That's, sounds like instructions for something. Grab, turn,
So
yank, pull.
bad.
The Army used to put instructions on everything for us. The rocket launcher. And it had 1, 2, 3, 4 on it, and we would follow it and use it. So, with you, I don't want you to think, I want you to react. And yet, what you're doing is good. I want you to think when it's a possibility of hurting a child, but when you're going to do something, I want you to just react with whatever it is.
Well, when you're in the age of 18, you can almost do whatever you want. You get less in trouble with the...
Welcome to Seikoshta Self-Defense for Women. What I'd like to mention are a couple of things. Obviously, you should avoid dark areas. You should avoid being alone. And if you do get in a situation where you need to fight, hopefully there'll be other people there. You can yell, you can scream. Learning some of these techniques is not a substitute for real classes. So I would urge you to get to your nearest dojo and sign up. You don't have to become a martial arts expert, but there are several classes that can teach you self-defense moves. We've talked about some of the strikes, we've talked about some of the basic kicks and stances, how to hold, how to come back to this position, never dropping it when you're kicking. We've talked about a bone alignment. We've talked about the knees and the elbows, and every block is a strike, and every strike is a block. You can also block with your kicks. So someone's got their hands up, I can kick that down, and then come around and kick them. Like I said, we've only gone over some of the basics, but as the women take power and say, oh, I can hit that. I can do this. Play the what-if game. Environmental fighting. Oh, I have a can of hairspray. Or, look at that. There's a chair. You can pick it up. When you do some of these things, if you had a bat or something, when you swing like this, you're losing control. Something like this is much more effective when you jab it, because you've got both hands on it, you've got control of it, you can jab it, and it's harder for them to grab it if you're jabbing and pulling back than if you're swinging. You can lose control on it. Swinging, if you connect, you can really hurt them, but jabbing, just go forward and jab. So the other portions are, for example, you can take a chair. You want to get control of that chair instead of just swinging it at them. Same thing, you're going to be jabbing and going in circles. Circles are going to be great things like we talked about in the blocks. Circles, jab, get control of it. Circles, jab. Jabbing is going to, when I talk about environmental fighting, using a lamp, using anything like that you have at your disposal, a chair, a pen, you want to back it up with your hand and poke and jab. And I would go for the eyes, the throat, the groin. Like I said, I'm not advocating violence, but only in defense. Only. Never escalate if you don't need to. So you would never punch someone if they pushed you. You would never, break someone's arm if they hit you. You don't need to escalate violence. In fact, it's much better if you can talk your way out of the situation. I used to work in a bar as a bouncer. And mostly, we would talk our way out of situations. And then when the talking didn't work, we did some of the holds that we discussed, and there's other holds that we can go into. Thank you for coming to Seikoshta Self-Defense. Okay?
I think so. I'll look at the video when I get home.
Welcome to Seikoshta.